Two.
Most people know about Rosa Parks' act of defiance on December 1st, 1955. However, what people don't know is that Claudette Colvin did this act of defiance before Rosa Parks. Colvin was 15 years old when she first challenged the law on March 2nd, 1955. She and her classmates suffered under the Jim Crow laws and often expressed their feelings towards the injustices they experienced under segregation. On that day, Claudette was boarding the bus home from Booker T. Washington High School when a familiar order came from the bus driver to give up her seat to accommodate a white woman that was left standing. Claudette did not budge and refused to give up her seat. I knew I had rights. In addition to that, she had paid her fare, argued Claudette. White folks were stunned at Claudette's disobedience and yelled at her to get up once again, but Claudette stood firm. Soon after, two police officers boarded the bus and yanked Colvin off to arrest her. If it wasn't for the officers, Colvin was not getting off that bus voluntarily. After being handcuffed, she was taken to city jail and locked up. Colvin became anxious, and when she heard the cell door slam, she wailed as she waited on her mother and pastor to come to her aid. Claudette Colvin's story sparked many civil rights activists to be outraged and fundraise for her cause. Some attention was brought to the case and inspired young people to action, including Rosa Parks. Unfortunately, even though Colvin caught the attention of Black leaders who secured legal representation, Colvin was seen as emotional, feisty, and uncontrollable. It was determined by them and her community that she was not fit to be a symbol for a citywide case. Colvin moved to New York after her trial and never spoke about her narrative in her new community, which is why only a few people know her story. According to Claudette, Rosa was the good icon. Parks was the secretary of NAACP and was well respected. Black organizations agreed that Parks was the best fit. Despite Claudette Colvin's story remaining anonymous, it does not change the fact that Claudette's case is a plaintiff for bus segregation and played a huge role in bus boycotts. These are landmark cases that have shaped the judicial system and have set principles for minority rights.
Action!
Harriet Tubman is probably one of the most famous conductors of the world of the Underground Railroad. Through a 10-year span, Tubman made more than 20 trips down to the South and has led over 300 slaves to freedom. Perhaps the most shocking fact about Tubman's journey from back and forth to the Southern is that she never once lost a passenger. Harriet Tubman was a real leader after being able to free multiple slaves. Due to the leadership and bravery of her doing this, fellow African Americans escaped slavery from where they were being kept as cotton pickers or cleaners. She got little kids out, and she also had many more jobs as a Union spy. She used the Underground Railroads to help slaves escape, and as I previously said in the beginning, she helped dozens of slaves escape before the Civil War. Yet even though she had a bounty on her head everywhere she went, people were trying to stop her from setting slaves free, and she still continued until she had a lot more slaves out until the slavery ended. She was also a nurse during the Civil War. To help the wounded during the war, Harriet Tubman was never caught taking slaves to their freedom. She didn't care about the bounty on her head. She still participated in the women's suffrage rights and John Brown's failed raid in 1859. Harriet Tubman's nickname was Moses of her people. Due to like Moses, she helped her people, but in this time she helped them escape slavery. She led all slaves to the North or Canada, where they would be kept in a white person and in the whites' houses. Due to them not wanting slavery to go on anymore, they would sleep and hide at their houses. Whenever Harriet Tubman was just a kid, she disobeyed, and she had gotten a head injury from her getting hit by a heavy weight. Sure, it's called the Underground Railroad. When Harriet Tubman was a conductor, even though it was not underground or an actual railroad. The name Harriet Tubman was not her birth name. Harriet Tubman's real name is Araminta Ross, but she then adopted her mother's name, and so then she became Harriet Tubman. For the concerning 10 years, she helped concerning 300 slaves to the north, whereas she was a conductor of the railroad. As a result of the Southerners offered a large reward for her capture, abolitionists used nice disguises, move as previous men and previous girls to avoid suspicion. Once traveling in slave states, she carried sleeping powder to prevent babies from crying, and continuously had a gun only for protection. During the Civil War of 1861, she was a nurse and a scout spy for the Union in South Carolina. She cooked and prepared food in 54 Massachusetts regiment, and it was a buildup of African American men called Glory Pridgett. Although she did not ever receive pay, she did receive awards for her efforts. Harriet Tubman's life is one of the records with so much history and importance behind it. In 1849, she escaped from slavery and settled in Philadelphia. There she found work as a scrub woman. Over the next 10 years, she became very involved in the abolition movement, forming friendships of black leaders of the Underground Railroad, William Still, and white abolitionists, Thomas Garrett. She became an inspiring conductor of the Underground Railroad, putting her own life ahead of people.
3, 2, 1, go.
9 Grammys, 14 BMA Awards, 25 BET Awards, and many Lifetime Achievement Awards. Robin Rihanna Fenty was born on February 20th, 1988 in Barbados. Since then, she has taken over the music world. In 2005, 4 years before I was born, Rihanna dropped her #1 hit, Pon the Replay. I guess that's the music I grew up on. Since then, Rihanna has given the music world 9 amazing albums. Although music made her a change maker for island and colored girls, it was her makeup that made her a billionaire and made me want to say thank you. In 2017, Rihanna released Fenty Beauty, but it wasn't just a beauty line. It was a line for girls like me. Before that, brown-skinned girls did not have anything that matched them by someone that looked like them. People like my mom. I wanted to thank Rihanna because she gave black women a new look at beauty and showing us a small-town girl can become the richest woman in the music industry, passing Beyonce. But there's more beyond just beauty. Rihanna is an advocate towards education, and as a young black girl trying to get her to her level, I want to thank her.